Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Harvest. All right, in today's video, this is July 3rd, 2026, and Bitcoin has been skyrocketing for the past 5 days. So the past week, it has gone up almost 5%, starting from a low of 58K, basically, to now $62,000. All right, so there was some bearish sentiment. It's been a very up and down week. But initially, the week started strong, but then there was still heavy ETF outflow that kind of sent the stock down. Just because with ETFs you're allowed to short stock now, which can also make the volatility a bit more. But then you also have the plus side where you can get short squeezed and also go up. So bullish now. It's I think it was Thursday. They released some softer than expected U.S. job data, kind of resulting in lower odds of like the Federal Reserve raising interest rates just because of this lower poor job data, and therefore more ETF inflow into Bitcoin, because now less interest rates means holding these speculative assets like Bitcoin a bit more favorable. So, it ranged from 58K to $62,000 this week. And we'll just see what the next week has to go for. I think that's also for today's video. We will start by going through our weekly activity, and then from there, I'll show you guys what happens next. So this is our current earnings. We're gonna harvest these couple 8. I think there's a few new ones, so I'll pause for the new ones, but the rest of these should be pretty straightforward. I think these 2 are new. And once again, one more thing, because Bitcoin's rising so high, the pools we're gonna make, they're gonna be more of these native tokens, just because I don't want to buy Bitcoin when it's kind of high. I know 62K seems pretty low, but compared to what it was last week, seems like it's gone up a bit and might, in my opinion, might retrace back down to 60. But we'll see. Only time will tell. But for now, I'll probably fund most of the money back into these native tokens. All right, so in Goose, the first pool that we're harvesting, we made around 0.1 BNB. Let's do a quick swap. It gives us around $58, almost 60 bucks. So we'll go ahead and swap that. So 58 means that in our calculator, we actually lost 10 bucks this week, unfortunately. It happens. It's the ebb and flow of the market. And also, as you can tell, we're kind of doing 6 days, not exactly 7, because we're right in the morning at 8 a.m. Normally I do this like after work at like 5 p.m. So that's probably plays a little bit of a factor, but yeah. All right, so we'll move on to the next few farms. Okay, our second farm is Olive. We made around $27 this week, which would update this to 27. All right, next farm now is Harul. All right, in the Harul farm, we made around 1267. So like I said, we're going to make more of these native tokens. So we're going to make a double down on the Salt BUSD pool. That'll make us, so we made around 33.96 in Salt this week. So we'll go ahead and confirm that, 33.96. And then that just gets deposited into this Salt BUSD PID1. So in order to find that amount, we got to go to the balance of the LP. And once, because we created the LP pool, so now we just have to find how much LP did we actually create. And then we go down here, all the way here, hold this amount. And then from there, we just add it back into the deposit amount. So we'll go into back to deposit, go down here, hit deposit. PID, I think it was 1. So we hit 1 as the pool ID. The amount is the amount that we just copied. So 1.9. And then we hit the right button. And from there, yeah, it'll show that we're depositing 1,934 of this LP. And that will increase kind of our balance up by $33.60-ish into Salt BUSD, and that just earns us passive income as well. So let me quickly update this to 33. Forgot. I'll just do 33 just to make my life easier. Okay, on to the next, RBH. All right, so for RBH, we made around 717. We'll go ahead and create this LP pool, and then we'll also deposit that into the account. Remember, whenever you're doing on PancakeSwap, you want to make sure you're paying the least, actually any transaction, you want to make sure you're paying the least amount of transaction fees. So I typically on MetaMask, I would charge it to low, so I'm only paying a cent instead of 10 cents, which is 10x the fee amount, right? So always good to do that. So once that pool has been added, 717. Actually, let me write that down first. Then from there, we find how much balance we have in it now. Same thing as the rest, so that is straightforward. All right, so in Dino, we made around $26, so I'll go ahead and update that into my account, 26. And then here, we're just going to create the farms and put it into this Dino BNB farm. All right, so this will be a tutorial of how to add a new farm. It's like you're welcoming a new family member. So we're going to welcome .neon, right? And then how we do it, I have to fill out all of these, which is my kind of step-by-step tutorial. So first I have to find the LP, which is just the PancakeSwap V1 router. My token A is just dot, my token B is just neon. So now I have to find, so within here, I'm going to hit the LP. So this will just bring me to the LP of PancakeSwap. And then I'll add liquidity. So I'm adding first the A token. And then afterwards, I'm adding the B token. And I want to find the balance of the A token, which is just here. So the first thing is I have to find how much money I'm adding to the account. So let me quickly grab those numbers for you. All right, so I added around $5 worth of DOT. And Neon, just from harvesting last week, we made around 50 cents. So really the pool is only going to be $1, but this is more of a proof of concept. See if it works. If it does work and we're able to harvest, then we can just keep topping it up, right? So it's kind of like a long con sort of thing. See how long it takes. All right, so we're going to go quickly get the, I think we already got the, actually I haven't gotten it yet, but I want to find the Polkadot amount. So that is simply this amount over here. So that'll be my token, I think it was A, yeah, token A, desired amount. Token B is a different story, so now I have to find token B, which is our neon. We'll have to put in here just to see the balance, and I want to add this in the token amount column just so I can use the same link going forward. I don't have to keep finding it. All right, so we put in our address. Now we have this amount, which is equivalent to 50 cents essentially, right? So if I know the minimum I want here, I probably want like get rid of a few digits, like get 10% of the amount, right? Because that's the amount, and we can the amount of dot that is 50 cents. And we know neon is 50 cents, so we can keep the minimum the same. The address would just be our address. And then we just put in the deadline converter. All right, so this is what the transaction looks like. It looks good. We're going to send over some dot and some neon, and that'll give us 55 cents of neon, but also 55 cents of dot, so around $1. And this is what we receive as the LP token. We'll go ahead and confirm this transaction. And that went through. Okay, so from there, we can continue. So one thing I'm missing right now is what is this balance of LP? To find that, we can, the easiest way is just to go back to our own address on BNB and find the liquidity. And then from there, this is the LP that we have. So this would tell us if we go into contract and into read, I'll also save this and put this down here so I don't have to go back to it. But essentially this column here would tell us how much of the liquidity pool we have. So we have around this amount, okay? This is also important. The last step is going back to the deposits, which is the first link. And now we have to deposit that LP back. So straightforward contracts, write, deposit the amount, and the pool is 13. But we're not quite done yet. Let me show you what happens. If we were to simply click write, it will give us an error, I believe. Yeah, so say this transaction is likely to fail. That is because we haven't approved it yet. So what we have to do now is, remember, we created this LP. Now we want to deposit this LP into this neon farm, right? In order to deposit into the farm, we got to tell the LP that it's okay for you to be deposited into this farm. We have to give it permission. So what we do is we go back to this LP and we hit the approve. So the approval would be essentially this contract that we're trying to download into, like upload our LP into. And the amount would simply just be this amount. But I always give it a bit of leeway, a few zeros, because I know that if I were to put it in next week and the amount is $10, right, then it will still give me an error because you're only allowing 50 cents or $1 right now. All right, so we're going to approve this now. So now once this LP contract knows that it's okay, right? It's okay for you guys to use it. Ooh, actually, I think I did it for the wrong one. Should have been this. My apologies. I want to do it for this token rather. So let me quickly update that here. So this would essentially the same steps. I will tell it that it's okay. You can use the token. Shoot, I should add a few zeros. Let me increase the zeros again. I only waste 1 cent for it, so it's not the biggest deal. I'll be like, okay, you can use this amount of tokens. So now, once we write, what should happen would be, it should give us the AOK. There we go. There is our AOK. All right, so that's the first one. So this is, we put in $1 and now we test to see if it works. So I always leave these notes on my spreadsheet because I want to go back next week and see what is the ask. What am I supposed to do this week? So now going into next week, I want to see whether or not I can harvest this, whether or not once it's harvested, can I convert it to BNB? And if that's okay, so this will take 1 week, but if it's okay, then I'm okay with continually do it. Continually do it. Yeah, okay. So the next one we have is fish. So same thing here. It's a new farm that we have. But first, actually, let's put in here. We made 0.55 on Neon, not $2. Okay. So fish 1, 3, and 0, those are our pegs. So we'll hit up the deposit and we'll deposit all 3 of these into our account. So we go into contract, we hit up deposit, we hit up 1, 3, and 0. Okay, so this is fish. We made around $4 this week. So let me just put it in, $4. And from there, we're actually going to make this BUSD fish pool. So it will be around $8 we're adding. Again, just a proof of concept that we can do it. So first off, we go into the PancakeSwap router and we just do the same steps and I'll show you exactly what happens. All right, so this is our fish farm that we have and we made around $4.11. We essentially did the same thing. We just added liquidity to this fish BUSD farm and we're going to quickly confirm it. Okay, so this wraps up today's video. Let's do a quick recap. So on our monthlies, we made probably $3 less total daily income now compared to last week. But again, that's because we're starting kind of in the morning of the day. So right now it's daily at $30. Our weekly amount, $211. Good job, everyone. Monthly is $800. And on an annual basis, we make almost 11,000, and this is USD. Now, again, we are Canadian boys, right? So because this is in USD, if we do convert it to Canadian, which is around 1.42, 1.4, we're actually making closer to $15,000 of passive income, man. So how much time am I really spending on this? Maybe 30 minutes a week, right? 30 minutes a week, giving you $200, right? That's like $400 per hour rates, like USD, which is crazy, right? So this is seriously such an easy way to make money. You just have to know what to do. You just have to know how to do this. And not a lot of people do. And I'm showing you these videos not because I want to gain followers or anything like that. Like I make more money. I make $0 off YouTube right now. I make more money keeping this to myself and not showing anyone. But I don't know. I love to give back and I want to see people succeed. And that's what I do. Try to do it on a weekly basis. So again, thank you guys for joining and watching this video. If you do like this video, remember to like and subscribe. But with that being said, Crypto Harvest, peace out.